His book of fiction with great pleasure. We have been friends since we both worked in the field of immigrants in Dhaka on the 25th of March 1971, when the Pakistan Army began its brutal crackdown on the independence movement, when it attacked and massacred students at the university, especially Hindu students. And I then followed the events of 1971 and returned to, as Jamal and his friends would have wanted to do, but he describes how, when that wasn't possible, they embarked upon this remarkable cycle tour, winning Goodwill for a country that few people then knew anything about across the world. So it was really a pleasure to see that he had fully recorded the story and its context, and I very much hope that it will be read by those who do remember those events, and also by those who don't but ought to be aware of them. Thank you.
Okay, here are some excerpts chosen by Jamal from the book. The first, Bangabandhu was pleased to hear about our plan to go out on a Goodwill mission. However, when he learned that we would travel using Indian travel documents, he became annoyed. You are citizens of an independent country. You cannot go abroad to represent Bangladesh using refugee passports. Bangabandhu looked around his advisors and asked, "How long will it take to get passports?" One advisor responded, "It may take some time, but they can be issued with Bangladesh travel documents immediately." Bangabandhu was reassured and smiled with satisfaction. He told us, "You must go abroad with Bangladeshi travel documents." We were so impressed to see Bangabandhu's ability to take note of every little thing.
His very close friend for many years, who wrote the foreword to the book. And then I'd like also to introduce Asaduzaman Malik, Mr. Jaman Uncle. Thank you for being here. And then finally we'll have some short excerpts from Catherine Lepper regarding some short excerpts from the book. So, and at the end of the launch of the discussion, copies of the book are available. Shelley Auntie over there will be in charge of sales. The book is available for £9.69. And then there are some copies of Jamal Pai's first book, The Disclosure, which is a novel. But I'm going to hand over to Babul Pai now to do a short reading.
Thank you. I'm going to read a small section from the book, and it's interesting, and I thought that I read that bit. And this is about when we were going to Yugoslavia from Greece, and it is in page 178 if any of you have it in your hand. Otherwise, don't worry. So this is how we wrote. Since we had left India and boarded the ship, we hadn't ridden our bikes for nearly a month and a half. So when we left Saloniki for Belgrade, we were excited to be on the road again. After after a month-long rest on the ship and then the train journey from one end to the other of Greece, we would travel by bike from Thessaloniki to London. Our first goal was to ride approximately 400 miles from Thessaloniki to Belgrade. However, our immediate target was to enter Macedonia and reach a town where we would spend the night. The border was less than 100 kilometers away, and this is where we were staying in a hotel the night before. We noticed something strange when we reached Yugoslavia border, now Macedonia. The road to Yugoslavia abruptly ended in front of a narrow canal, which looked like a wide drain with shallow water. People drove over shallow water, which turned out to be less than half a foot deep. We noticed that the canal was very short, so we decided to go to the end of the drain and enter Yugoslavia on dry land. Suddenly, a uniformed officer ran after us and asked us to come back to the canal. Then he asked us to ride our bikes through the water in the canal. Seeing our surprised look, he explained that it was not a drain, but a trench filled with disinfectant. Everybody had to pass through this. We apologized for our ignorance and slowly rode our bikes to avoid splashing too much water. Catherine, my colleague, will read a little bit more, but I just wanted to say that this thing is 1972. We didn't have the advantage of Google Map or anything. We had a compass, a small compass, and a printed map.
The real high point of the trip, and you'll see why as I read. We could see several people standing in a queue on the lawn. Then we noticed that the Prime Minister was seeing those people in the garden. This scene reminded me of Tagore's famous educational institute, Shantiniketan in West Bengal. It is a tradition for students at Shantiniketan to receive lessons in the open air. No tables or chairs, and the students sit on the ground. Here, the people waiting to see the Prime Minister were on their feet. She had a garland made of small fresh flowers wrapped around her wrist. We were awestruck when Mrs. Gandhi entered the lobby. We were amazed by her extraordinary, radiant presence. We felt overwhelmed by the compelling aura around her. Mrs. Gandhi greeted us with a warm smile. However, her smiling face and friendly personality could not hide the sign of her confident character and enormous power. First, we showed her a copy of Bangabandhu's letter, asking us to convey his good wishes to the people of the countries we visited. We then presented her with the decorated flag of Bangladesh and said, "We acknowledge your support for our cause and for helping us in every possible way." Finally, we finished our introductory speech by saying, "Without your support and all the help, it would be a long struggle for us to get our independence." Mrs. Gandhi was pleased with our gift and accepted it gracefully. She congratulated us on winning the Liberation War and appreciated our Goodwill mission. Then she led us to a ribbon side.